Everybody, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. It's Tammy Talks here. Let's get into Power Book 2 Ghost. This is Season 2, Episode 6, What's Free. So if you're brand new to my channel, I do breakdowns of popular, scripted, and reality TV shows, sprinkled in with my own commentary, thoughts, opinions, that type of thing. So if you enjoy that type of content, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, thumbs up the video, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads. Hop into the comment section and let's talk about this, y'all. Let's talk about what happened because a lot happened tonight. So the episode starts off with Monet looking around her once peaceful, very orderly, very put together house, and it's a full blown party. So it's liquor everywhere, it's loud, there's music blasting. We see Lorenzo is like playing, I forgot if it was either poker or dominoes, with Diana standing right by his side, almost kind of like she was the woman of the house, right? So he's bragging about how his daughter is more loyal to him than anybody else has ever been, anybody else ever could be. And Diana is just all smiles, happy that her dad is out of jail because Diana was under the impression that she could use her dad, so get her dad out of jail so that she could go to school and do all the stuff she wanted to do that Monet was not letting her. So Monet is looking at her like, I know what you did. I know what you did, because Tariq told on Diana that she was the one that actually took the money out of the house, out of the safe. It wasn't the worker. So we see Kane comes in with Lil Guap, and Kane goes up to Lorenzo and was like, Lil Guap wants a picture for his Instagram. Lil Guap wants a picture for his Instagram. And it's like, who the fuck? Why do you want a picture for your Instagram? I thought that was so weird and so cringy. But whatever. And Lorenzo kind of tells him like a flat out no. You want some respect or whatever, earn it. Like, kind of one of them, like, what are you talking about? No. Meanwhile, Lorenzo is telling people about how this is my son Drew. He's gonna be the next. He's gonna be right beside me. Yada yada yada. So while all of this is going on, we see Zeke come in. Lorenzo immediately was like, "No, this is a private party, my guy. You're gonna have to leave." And Zeke is like, "Monet said that I could come." From what we gather, Lorenzo does not know who Zeke is. So Monet is like, "This is my nephew Zeke. Remember, you just haven't seen him in a while." And Lorenzo was like, "I don't think I've ever officially met him, but he still has him in the basketball team get like searched down to make sure they don't have guns or weapons or anything else like that." So while Lorenzo is talking about Drew taking over the business, or standing right beside him, Everett is kind of looking, and you can see that Everett and Drew are like making eyes at each other the whole time. And a lot of people are seeing this. Meanwhile, Monet is still staring daggers at Diana. So Tariq, meanwhile, they flash over to Tariq. Tariq is in jail. He hears a man coming with like a coffee cart, a security guard, probably going to the other security guards. And Tariq thinks that it's somebody coming like to his cell, but you ain't there by yourself, sweetheart. That ain't gonna happen. So they flip back to flip back to the party, and Monet is questioning this man named Keno about, if you rocked with Lorenzo when y'all were in jail, you got out a couple of months ago. Why haven't you come like roll down on us? Lorenzo was like, whoa, 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 don't do that. Why don't you go like get some more chicken, like pour some more shots? Like, that's what you should be doing. And you can see that Lorenzo is not going to run this as a partnership between him and Monet. Lorenzo said, I'm out now, so this is my shit now, basically. So Diana sees like how Lorenzo is treating Monet, and she like offers to help. And Lorenzo was like, no, she got it. She gonna go get some more pans of chicken. Like, she got it. It's fine. So Keno tells Lorenzo he's not gonna roll with him. He's gonna do his own thing since he's been out. I think it's like the Black Street Killers. And he's like, I got my own type of thing. And then he gets up and leaves. So Kane, when Monet is in the kitchen, Kane comes up to her and is like, why is Lorenzo playing Drew so close? Because Kane wants to be the number two in charge. He wants to help run the business so that when their parents pass on, he can take over, and it can be his. Lil Guap and Monet is like, don't worry about that. I'll get to that later. We can't talk about that right now. Lil Guap is nervous because he's like, why is everybody looking at me like crazy? Like, your cousin was looking at me away. Your brother's looking at me away. You need to let them know that we're cool right now. So while this is going on, Monet goes over to Everett and said, do you know me? And he was like, yeah, you're Zeke's aunt. She said, don't do that. I'm Drew's mother, which you knew. She was like, I know who you are and who you are to Drew. You're not built for this. But Monet is mad because Everett dropped Drew's name during that police investigation. So she was like, you ain't ready for this game and for everything that this is all going to entail. So you can get the fuck out of my house. And he's like looking for Drew, and she was like, he's not coming. Don't even worry about that because he's not coming back. So the next morning, Monet and Lorenzo are in bed, and Lorenzo was just telling her how happy he is to be home and how, now Monet can retire. He wants to turn the business over to Drew so that they can retire and not have to worry about it. And they can just, enjoy each other and enjoy their life and enjoy their money. So while this is going on, he said that Diana belongs in classrooms, in boardrooms, and not on the block. So he's basically like, let the girl go to school and she can help us out in a different way, which to me would be smart because have Diana go to school for something and then Diana can wash our money. But it doesn't make sense to have all three of your kids working as your soldiers. So Monet is like, but what about Kane? He said Kane will be fine as long as the streets respect him. But Drew is who's going to lead the business because he's more level headed, he's more calm, he thinks things through. We all know Kane is more reactionary. So while they're talking, Diana brings in a breakfast into Lorenzo. And Monet is like, everybody don't get breakfast. And she was like, this is Dad's welcome home. I didn't know you would be hungry. And see, here's the thing with Diana, if you do what you got to do, girl, to yuck up to your dad, but you can't play your mama to the left because you still know who your mama is. And I think Diana is getting way beside herself, and Diana is going to start to really feel herself a little too much because she knows that she has the protection of her dad in the house now. So before it was kind of like you can only do or say too much because your daddy was behind, and your daddy was in jail. But now that he's out, Diana about to be real mouthy with Monet, and it's going to backfire in a way that I hope Monet don't end up killing that girl because she is not going to take too much disrespect from her. So the boys come in, they're talking about how we need to go shopping and all this other stuff. Lorenzo said he's happy to be home. He's going to make all these traditional foods for them. He's just happy that he's back with the family because he did not know if that would ever happen again. So we get to Tariq in court. Tariq decides to plead not guilty because, as we know, he did not kill Ramirez. So he's pleading not guilty. David said that the charges are ridiculous because y'all are just looking for a black man to pin this on. Let's not forget that y'all just had, Zeke in there trying to pin this on him. So y'all are just looking for a scapegoat at this point. Tariq is denied bail because the prosecution is like he killed a cop. He killed, two prominent people in the community. And then they talk about how, the badge was found in his room and stuff like that. Tariq is like, I don't even know who Ramirez is. I'm being set up for this. And you can tell that the prosecutor lady, you can kind of low key tell that she does not believe that it was Tariq anyways. You know what I mean? So Tariq is denied bail. He's back in the room talking to Davis and Sax, and he's like, I'm being set up for this. And Sax is like, well, if I was the judge, I would keep you in jail too. And Sax, we were starting to just kind of ignore you, but now you're getting back to the era fucking tating person that you were back in power. I get it. You don't like to say Patrick family, but my whole thing is you doing too much. You're doing the absolute most. So he is like, well, why didn't you think of your sister before you killed the cop? And Davis goes off on him. It was like, shut up. That's enough out of you. So Davis tells him, this judge is not going to let you out. They're going to make an example out of you. But there are smaller and lower level appellate judges that will, if with the right influence. So Tariq immediately catches on to what he says, and it's like, cool, get Rashad Tate to come in, and it's fine. I can work that out. So we see Drew, Lorenzo, and Kane are hanging out at the bar. Drew is talking about, remembering like where he got shot. He's like, it was hot, like going through the motions. So while Lorenzo was like, yeah, that happens, and they're getting ready to bond over being shot, Kane is like, here, I got you a gift. Gives him like an iced out Jesus piece. Said this is his old one from back in the day. He had the jeweler, add some stuff to it, upgrade it, whatever. Lorenzo was like, okay, cool. Closest the box, and it's like a proper welcome home would be you connecting me with your connect. Who is the guy? Me and Drew need to meet him. And Kane was with it until he heard Drew. And then it kind of became a, why do you need to meet him? I'll see if I can hook that up, whatever. Lorenzo was like, you don't have no phone? You don't have a phone? Let's call him right now. And you can see Drew getting mad, and then you can see Lorenz Kane getting mad, and it's just kind of walking past him and like chest bumps Drew on the way out. Or should I say shoulder checks him on the way out. Drew was like, I don't need to meet the connect as long as you and mommy have everything, situated, it's fine. And Lorenzo tells him, we won't be around forever. You need to know certain things so that you can properly run the business. So Drew was like, well, Keno runs with the Blackstreet Killers, and I heard that he's like overworking and underpaying these guys. He's like, so maybe we can try to recruit some of them. And Lorenzo was like, well, that could turn into a war if we're taking somebody else's, footmen. And Drew was like, well, then you know what you got to do to eliminate that threat. So Lorenzo likes the way that Drew immediately went through like the cycle of this is how we can take that over, because we know that Kane would have off rip been like, all right, well, I'm gonna just go kill him now. So we know how Drew like he's more analytical. He actually thinks. So we have Monet and Diana. Diana is in the bathroom, looks like she's doing her hair. Monet comes in and it's like, why didn't you tell me your father was getting out of jail? And she was like, I didn't think you wanted to know. And then she was like, I think you wanted to know, and Daddy wanted it to be a surprise. So Monet is like, why didn't you tell me that you took that money? I killed a man because of that when it was you that took it. And Diana was like, well, I didn't tell you to do that. Maybe you need to like, and before she can even get it out, Monet yucks her up, and Monet like yokes her up, and it's kind of like you getting beside yourself, you're doing too much, and it's kind of like on some don't forget who the fuck house this is, right? So then she tells her, get the fuck out of my house. And Diana looks kind of scared, and I'm like, girl, y'all been scared of Monet this entire time. Now all of a sudden, because your dad is out of jail, you ain't scared of her no more. Stop it. Now, Diana, I did like you, but I feel like you are doing too much and you are playing with fire. Because what's gonna happen is Lorenzo is gonna kill Kane, and Diana and Monet is gonna kill Diana, and it's really just gonna be Drew left. So Tariq is back in jail, and he's sitting around thinking about who set me up? How did that badge get planted on me? Right? So while he's going through these motions, going through the thought process, Kanan's creepy ass pops up in his in his psyche, and it's kind of like, think about who had the most to lose. Think about who did this. So so Tariq is able to come to the conclusion that Monet must have sent Kane to set him up with Braden's help. So we see Lauren. Class is getting ready to start. Lauren approaches Professor Milgram, and it's like, why is Tariq in jail? And Milgram, who I did like you season 1, 2, girl, aside from your sex addiction and all the extra stuff you were doing, I had no problem with her. And like, she's being real breezy on some, well, Tariq is in jail because he did whatever. And she's like, you told me we were setting up Braden. You knew it was Tariq. And Milgram is like, well, he's in jail where he needs to be. So Lauren is like, is it because of something that was on my watch? Because you really like, you set me up with that. And she's like, we can't talk about this now because students are coming in. So they're all like, we just about to start learning. Like, Tariq wasn't in jail. And it's a bunch of mixed reactions. Some of them are like, well, he did it. Others are like, innocent until proven guilty. Light skinned Keisha is like, yeah, but not when you're black. So they're going through all of this. And Professor Milgram was like, he's in jail. It's a double homicide. He killed a cop. He's not getting out. And Lauren is kind of looking at her like, what the fuck? Why are you so ready to believe that one of your students that you was on whose ass you was all up and kissing just last year, why are you so willing to believe that he is like flat out just a killer like that? So Tate tells her, you know, don't act like like that the judicial system isn't going to work. He is indeed innocent until proven guilty. And Milgram is like, there's not a chance in hell he gets out. And Tate said, oh, there's a chance for everything. There's a chance for everything. And I feel like if Milgram was smart, she would have caught on to what Tate is saying, because Tate has it out for her ass anyways. So Monet meets with Dante and says that because Lorenzo is out, whatever plan they had is not going to work. Dante said he's not going to sneak around because he respects her too much. And just because Lorenzo is out now, that should not derail whatever they had planned, what they were going to do. So while she's there, she gets a call from Lorenzo and leaves to take the call. And Lorenzo was like, why is Tariq in jail for Ramirez's murder? You are dumb, because now this is going to wrench back around to you. And that's when that Monet realizes that Kane must have set Tariq up because she didn't know. So she goes straight to Davis, gives him, or to ask him, why did Tariq get arrested? Do they have evidence, or is this just a witch hunt? Davis would say it's a witch hunt because, Davis knows how to play everybody. So Monet gives him $250,000 because he tells her that Ramirez's badge was found in Tariq's dorm room. How did it get there? Because Davis knows that Tariq didn't kill Ramirez. I think deep down, Davis knows that. Davis might not know if Tariq actually did kill Jabari, but he knows he didn't kill that cop. So she gives him $250K and said, if something happens that will swing back around to my family, tell me. He said, make it 5. And then he was like, but I'm only going to tell you what's going on if it does not hurt my client. She said, I don't give a fuck who it hurts. I'm paying you for the peace of mind with my family. So we have Dante and Kane. Kane is meeting up with Dante and telling him that his father wants to meet the new connect. And Dante is like, why do we need to meet? As far as I'm concerned, like, how do I know that you're not even crossing me? And Kane goes into, because if I was crossing you, then I would lose, doing all this roundabout talking, which is basically him whining because he's not number 2. So Dante tells him that, listen, I don't need to meet your father because I'm not in business with your father. I'm in business with you. So basically, Dante is like, I'm not about to meet your daddy. That's what that comes down to. And Dante, like, this is how Kane swears that he's so smart, but Kane has so many people that are playing mind control with him, and he doesn't even know. You're putting all your trust in Mecca, not even realizing that Mecca is like trying to fuck your mama and get back with your mama on the low. You were targeted. This isn't by chance. You didn't stumble across a connect. Dante is playing with you. Kane is so dumb. So Tate goes to the jail to see Tariq. Tariq tells him, I need you to get me out of jail. Tate says, I knew you would end up in here, nigga. I'm not telling you nothing. Why should I help you when you were supposed to be getting me information about Sweeney? And Tariq tells him, look, I can get the stuff for you. I have a yearbook. I got access to this yearbook. I went on a trip with the Westons. I went on a little trip with the Westons. This yearbook has Sweeney doing all types of inappropriate things that will make headlines for months. Get me out, I will get you the damn yearbook. So Lorenzo calls a family meeting, says they ain't messing with Tariq no more. Tariq has now become a liability. He said, we're going to start recruiting a team. Everybody will have a team underneath them. We can make all the money we need right here in Queens. He said, aside from you, Diana, I have something planned for you. So Monet is like mad about that. Lorenzo tells her, enjoy your retirement. You have early retirement, gives her a wad of money, tells her, girl, go shopping. Go tear down the mall. Tariq is back in court, and the judge says that this is a shared dorm room. Where is the actual forensic evidence that proves that Tariq is the one that put the badge there? And this is how Kane is going to get caught up, because y'all not going to tell me that this campus does not have cameras in the damn hallway, especially in the dorms, where they can see Lorenzo Tejada Jr., who is connected to Ramirez, coming in and out of that room, and then they just so happen to find the badge the next day. You know what I mean? So the cop then goes on this rant about how Black Lives Matter and the black man is being pulled down and all this other stuff, and they're not getting the fair shake in the courtroom and all this other stuff. So he gives Tariq bail at 10% of a $1 million bail. So Tariq gets an ankle monitor, and Sachs keeps saying that Tariq killed the cop. And Davis goes off on him and it's like, why don't you remember who the fuck you work for? You know what I mean? Tariq is asking to talk to Tasha. They said they're still looking for her. Sachs knows where Tasha is, but they don't want Tariq to talk to Tasha and vice versa because they think that she might advise him to run. And then, Davis's whole thing is, I don't care if you did the shit or not. He's about that shmoney. So no matter what you did, he doesn't care. He doesn't want to know for sure. He just wants, to get paid for it. So he sees Tariq as a constant paycheck. He doesn't care where the money is coming from as long as he gets paid on time. And Tariq is going to keep effing up. And then as long as Tariq is effing up, Monet is going to have to keep trying to protect her family. So Davis is getting paid both ways. So that's all he's worried about. And he makes Sachs promise to not ask Tariq about for a confession ever again. So Tariq is back in his dorm room. He sees Braden. He's like turning on the water and everything. He's like, in case the room is tapped. And he asked Braden if he helped Kane set him up. Braden said that he did not know anything he was doing was going to lead back to Tariq. So they start going back and forth. And basically it comes down to Braden telling Tariq, I didn't know shit because you don't tell me shit. And that's true. Tariq always tells Braden bits and pieces of what he wants him to know. And Braden always tells him, you don't tell me. How am I supposed to know to stay away from somebody without you telling me? And Tariq is like, I tell you what you need to know. If I say stay away from somebody, stay away from them. And I'm on to be like, Tariq, you are not this boy's daddy. Who are you to tell somebody who they can and cannot talk to? If you want me to stay away from somebody, you need to give me a good goddamn reason as to why. So Tariq tells Braden, why are you even doing this? Your family comes from money. This is a game to you. Meanwhile, there are people out here dying because this is their life. And Braden said, whoa there. Let's not act like your father wasn't rich and connected too. We both chose this life. And I'm like, yeah, remind Tariq that your daddy was running for lieutenant fucking governor. Tariq grew up just as privileged as Braden, but Tariq wanted to be in this drug game and in this life so damn bad because he's just a little ass. So Tariq tells him that you ain't on course correct no more because I can't trust you. Braden said, well, we built that together. Tariq said, yeah, and you're going to let it go because I can't trust you. So Braden meets up with Kane because, remember Monet, Braden is meeting up with Kane. I think I skipped it earlier, but Monet approached Kane about planning that badge, and they decide they're going to keep course correct going. And Kane said that he can control Braden to get Braden to do it. he gets up to he gets up to meet Monet. Monet immediately sees that Brayden is not worth taking a risk out on, because Brayden's whole thing was, I have my white privilege. I can, drive down in my luxury car and have a bunch of stuff in the back. No one's going to say anything about it. Monet was like, you're not ready. But then she asked him, um, before you leave, though, she asked him if why did he plant that badge? And Brayden said that he doesn't know why Kane tricked him into doing it. And that's when Monet kind of looked and told Kane, he's not ready. You're not ready because you don't have the power you thought you did over him. Because I saw the way that your eyes like, uh-oh, when he said that Tariq was out on bail. So Lauren meets up with Tariq, and he's mad she didn't show up in court. He didn't have one person that was there for him, which kind of looked bad. And she said that she's just confused, she doesn't know what's going on. And he tells her that Professor Milgram is only pushing for this because she was sleeping with Zeke. And because of that, she wants to make sure that Zeke is not in jail. Lauren is confused. Tariq is mad because she doesn't want to go to her room to talk. And I'm like, Tariq. But see, I think this is Tariq's biggest problem, is that he feels that no matter what he tells people, they need to take his word as bond. And no matter what he tells them or how he says it, how he phrases it, you don't need to ask any other questions back to him. So because in that particular moment, Lauren is confused and wants some answers to some stuff, instead of you just saying, I think someone set me up, which is basically all you have to do. And then that could have been rectified. And then maybe she could tell you that, you know what, I think when I was told to wear a watch, and they could have worked that angle and try to fix that, on the at least on the they could have flipped it on the prosecution, what I'm trying to say. But Tariq doesn't think about stuff like that, and that's why he always ends up being mad at people. So he gets mad, tells her he's done with her, he'll give her the key back to her brother's place. So Lauren is mad. She goes and approaches Milgram in her room and said, you forced me to wear a wire. Why didn't you tell me Tariq was the target? You lied. You said we were after Brayden. Milgram was like, nobody forced you. No one had a gun to your head. You just didn't want your parents to find out that you got caught with drugs. And then she tries to, she was super condescending. And Lauren told her and was like, girl, well, you're just mad. You're just trying to protect Zeke because you're fucking with Zeke. And I'm about to make sure everybody knows. Everybody knows. So you can see Milgram and say, we'll talk when you're not as emotional. Lauren said, I'm fine. I'm not emotional, but I'm still about to blow your spot up. So we see Effie comes over to Tariq's dorm. She said to check on him. They kind of talk about what's going on. And Effie lets Tariq know that, you don't, did you ever, what do you tell Brayden? What do you expect him to know? And that's when Tariq pulls that whole, well, if I told him not to, not to be around Kane or whatever. And Effie was like, did you tell him why though? You need Brayden. Brayden is loyal to you. And Tariq said that he's stupidly disloyal. And Effie is like, but that's your fault though, because you're not telling him everything that he needs to know, which is very, 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 very true. He leaves Brayden out in the dark so much that Brayden never knows what's going on. So at Monet's house, they're like, the family's eating dinner, they're laughing, they're talking, they're dancing. Monet is in a shitty mood. She gets up, so she's going to get some cheesecake, which basically means she's going to meet Dante. She goes to meet Dante, said that they have to break it off. She has 3 kids with Lorenzo. And Dante was like, and we have 1 kid together. He messed up his chance because he's a jailbird. He made his choice. So we see Lorenzo and Diana. And Diana was like, why doesn't Monet seem happy that you're home? Lorenzo was like, sure she does. Of course she does. And she was like, I can't really tell, but whatever. So he tells her that they're going to send her to school and pay her tuition for her to go to St. John's University. Lauren, sorry, Diana, even though Diana's been wanting to go to school. She wants to go to Stansfield with, excuse me, she wants to go to Stanfield with Zeke. Monet said no. Diana said that this is just Monet being mad that you're back home. And he was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, if she's not mad that you're home, why does she have an exit plan that doesn't include you? So remember, Monet wants to get out the game. She had that plan where they were going to all go work for Zeke. So Lorenzo goes straight to Drew and was like, what's the exit plan? What's going on? And Drew kind of tells him, lets him know. And Lorenzo was like, I am not about to work for y'all fucking cousin. Still not knowing that is your stepson. Still not knowing that is your stepson. So Lorenzo was like, nope, we're all going to be on the same page. Drew tells him, if you want to get the whole family on one accord, you and Monet need to get on the same page. And Lorenzo was like, that's fine. I will get us there. So I'm kind of nervous for Monet to see what that means, but you don't piss Lorenzo off now. So Lorenzo tells Drew that he wants him to go and tell Keno because he's going to take his advice of taking him out so they can just kind of take over their blocks and take over his workers. So Tariq meets with Braden. He apologizes to him, and Braden immediately tells him, well, I met up with Kane and Monet because they wanted me to do course correct, but Monet wasn't having it. So Tariq is like, okay, so they are working back together. Okay, cool, because Tariq needs to know. And he ends up telling Braden everything. You know, what happened with Ramirez, exactly how Jabari died, all this other stuff. And now that they have everything out in the open, they can move forward. I think as much, because Braden is he's stupidly loyal. And I think as long as Tariq keeps Braden in the loop about what's going on and all this other stuff, he will have his back. So he tells Braden, I need you to get close to Kane because we're going to flip this on them. And then I need your dad's yearbook because it'll help me with my case. So Tariq, Effie, and Braden devised this plan, but they're not going to do it on Stansfield right now. They decide they're going to lay low because of everything that's going on, which makes sense. So it might be them doing it over on, I think Effie goes to Yale. So they might be doing it on her campus, but so still being able to make the money, but taking all the heat and all the attention off of Stansfield. So Effie is now going to be the one that meets up with Monet because Tariq is on house arrest. He can only go certain places. So Lorenzo meets up with Kane and was like, where is the connect? Kane tells him, I'm the connect right now. And Kane is trying to like be Big Bad Willie with this whole thing, and it backfires on him because Lorenzo was like, you're too hot headed. You don't think. You know, Drew is more level headed. He thinks about things. And then like Lorenzo tells him, how are you gonna stand right by my side and you're trying to be my boss right now? You can't even be honest and you're hiding who the connect is from me. And I think Kane in that moment kind of realized, oh yeah. So he's like, either you're gonna be my boss or you're gonna be my son. One of the two. So Effie meets with Monet. Monet tries to play Effie and was like, oh, so I guess you must be putting it on you. And it's like, Monet, you ain't the hardest bitch out in the street. You ain't not the only one that's out here making moves in the street. But she agrees that they're gonna work together. um Lauren is talking to the prosecutor and it's like, I got tricked into testifying by the professor. I can't testify. I didn't even know what I was signing. Girl, you should have read that affidavit or whatever that was before you did it. You should have read it. You also should have just called your parents, who seem to be well connected, and you could have told them somebody planted drugs in my room. Lauren handled this entire thing wrong. Sax overhears but acts like he didn't, and it's mainly because Sax is still gunning for Tariq. And then Tariq shows Effie the letter that Ghost sent him, and we see him burning the letter at the end. I thought it was a very, very good second half of the season. I can't wait to hear Can't wait to see what's going to happen the rest of the episode. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you guys in the next one.